Okay, welcome to the game recap of my round one game. My opponent was Vaishali, so obviously quite a strong player. But hey, it's extremely painful because I had a very nice position at some point. Okay, so my opponent played very smartly in the opening. So move rook e1 was quite smart. So it's hoping for a transposition with d4 takes to the main line after this. But after rook e1, now I'm forced to commit to this move, and then yeah, I can't play that line anymore. So I was out of book here, but at least I could see she was thinking as well. Okay, well, it's got a pretty nice position. And here, okay, h4 was a pleasant surprise. Because I thought she could just play bishop d2, and it looked really nice for white. The h4, I found a very nice idea. So if you want, you can pause the video and try to find it for yourself. Yes, I took on c3, and now a very thematic idea, f5. So the idea is this. If white doesn't take, it'll be much harder for her to generate some sort of attack on the king side. So she kind of has to take. Now for bishop f6, our idea is this. We want to push the pawn to e5, and then we can develop our problem bishop, so either e6 or f5. And that should solve our problems with development. You played rook e3, defending the pawn. Okay, e5, a4. And here was, I think, be the first slight inaccuracy, because I had to decide whether to develop my bishop with something like bishop e6, or to stop this pawn with a5. Because her idea is to play the pawn to a5 and try to fix my queen side. Yeah, so maybe this is her idea. So in the game, I went for a5, but I think this was a bit of a mistake. I think I should have just played bishop e6. And okay, what I missed was a bit silly. So in a line like this, I thought, okay, she's going to play bishop a3. Maybe she can put the bishop on c5 and go to b6. Which would be annoying because then it'll be hard for me to fight for the d file. So firstly, if she does something like that, I can still put my rooks in the f file. So it's not a big deal. And secondly, the fact that she can't really play bishop a3 ever because I just take this. So that was a bit dumb. So a5 was a waste of time for sure. And this gave her enough time to start creating her own play. Queen h5. Very nice move, provoking some weaknesses. It's a simple move, but pretty effective. g6, queen e2. Yeah, and this was just to misplace the white rook. Rook a1. And I went back to f7. Sorry. Because I didn't see any other way to stop move h5. Sorry. She plays move bishop d5. Then, okay, she has to move h5. So, okay. Rook on d7. And already here, white is a very good position. Now, if you want to, you can try to pause the video and find the best way for white to play. So you may have noticed that it's a bit difficult for black to fight for the d file. So very thematic idea is to play rook d3. Our idea is very simple. We want to play rook a d1 and seize control of the d file. And if black takes on d3, now we improve our structure and we're ready to put pressure on the queen side with some moves like rook b1 and bishop e3. Black's pieces are quite passive, and we should have a nice advantage here. Instead, my opponent went for something very interesting. A practical exchange sacrifice. He went for the move h5. He takes, and now rook f7, which, practically speaking, I think is quite strong. Because even though black should be okay here, position is a bit hard to play. Because white has no weaknesses, and the rooks can be quite clumsy. It's not hitting any of white's pieces once. So, okay, queen takes h5. And not to mention, white does have the two bishops, as well as this monster bishop on e4. Bishop f8, defending against mate. King g2, which was a bit surprising. I thought she would stop them with bishop c5 by bishop e3, which, to be honest, I didn't see a good reply to. But I was quite happy when she allowed f3, because at least now I have some chances against this white king, which could be exposed in some lines. Okay, now to move queen d8. So I have ideas like rook d2 in some lines, which could, in some cases, lead to perpetual. So white plays queen g4 and queen e6. I defended the pawn. Now rook f1. And I think at this point, white is sort of starting to overpress a little bit, because I think it was time for her to just take the draw of rook h1. And okay, there was a perpetual here. Yep. So for queen e7, chasing queen away. And here was the first big mistake of the game, in my opinion. I played move queen d8 back. So if she moves the rook to h1, I thought I have rook d2 check that case. I did see the move rook d8, trying to improve my rook. But okay, I was a bit worried about something rook h1. I overestimated her idea of rook h1, which is very strange because there isn't any threat with this move. Yes, and if she makes some natural moves, already black is starting to take over. Like white doesn't have any real threats here, and an exchange is an exchange. Okay, and now I gave her two extra moves, and finally I went for this rook d8 idea. But the fact that I have wasted two moves means that things are starting to get tricky for black. So instead of having a better position, now black has to find some only moves to defend, which I wasn't able to find. Okay, rook h1, rook g8, bishop b3. Tricky move. And now I had two candidate moves here. Move bishop g5, and move rook g7. And I think I made the wrong practical choice, even though both are supposedly equal. So rook g7 was a move I really wanted to play. I almost played it. But then I saw this idea, bishop g6. With the idea if rook f8, we'll have bishop h6, which is really nasty. But black has a very nice way to hold equality here. Can you find it? Pause the video and try to find it. So now black can play the move e4. Fantastic move. Which at first glance makes no sense. But the idea is simple. If I take on f7, we'll take on f3. And we will open the position of the white king. So white has to take on e4. But now the rook on f7 is no longer attacked, so we can take on c3. And with bishop h6, we go back to g8. And white has very good compensation, but no more. I think black should hold without too much trouble. In the game, I played this move bishop g5, and I calculated the completely wrong line. So, okay, white's obvious move is bishop c5. And here I made a serious blunder. Actually, in this position, I lost the game in just one move, yeah? Queen c7, bishop d6. And that's just over. If I move the queen anywhere else, then bishop takes e5 is game over. So okay, I just let her give me. So yeah, obviously, once we've seen that, it's quite clear that the only move is queen d7. And bishop g6 looked really scary. That's the reason I didn't play this move. But actually, after rook takes, queen takes, and queen d5, the key move, black is doing okay here. Instead, yeah, I decided to move my queen to a square that defends the e5 pawn. The bishop g6 is not that dangerous anymore. Can play rook fg7. And yeah, completely missed simple move. So yeah, definitely quite a careless game. Definitely should have got more out of it. But okay, there are still 8 more rounds, and I'm hoping to do better. We'll see how it goes.